Why, hello, welcome. I am Lady Genesis, and this is the art realm of Genesis. On this episode, I am going to be using render paper to see how it holds up with my Mondo Llama markers. I've used those markers in a previous episode, like last year. And I have to say off the bat, this paper is very smooth and thick. And I thought it'd be a great test bed for my Mondo Llamas. So now that I have the intro out of the way, let's get started. So what had happened was, it was one of the days where I actually took my lunch break outside. I had my markers on me and my paper, and I figured this was as good a time as any to test it out. I just let the creativity bug take over, and I started sketching whatever came to mind. I didn't have like a camera stand or anything for my phone, so I had to work with what I had, and I took small clips of me sketching out the character in spurts because I had to put the phone down and start sketching to get it done before my lunch break was over. Also, if anyone's noticing, I am using pencil, and I have brought this up several times that I normally just sketch with pencil when I'm doing paintings, but the pencil was all I had. I didn't have an ink pen. Once I was comfortable with the sketch, I started using blue marker. I don't know, it's just the first thing that popped up in my mind. And I'm sorry, y'all, the lighting was very crappy because I went in the building to start coloring because I still had a few minutes left before it was time for me to get back to work. And yeah, it's not the best lighting because that blue is actually very vibrant. So noticing off the bat while using the marker, it's very dry when gliding on. I mean, it's like the paper just sucked the marker right up, which I kind of expected that because it was a thicker paper, but at the same time, it definitely showed every line that I was drawing on the paper where you could see streaks. So I did happen to have to go over it a couple of times once it dried to give it a more smooth finish. Next, I went in with a darker blue to start blending in the shadows, along with using that lighter blue to kind of blend it in and make it even smoother. Next, I started using pink for her hair, but at this point, I had to put everything away because, of course, I had to get back to work, so I decided to finish it at home. So now this is me at home with the camera on the camera stand, so that way it's stabilized and you can see everything. So now I'm going to continuously color it until it gets finished. And I honestly hope that you guys can see that the colors are more vibrant because it's better lighting from above. I believe I went in with 4 different pinks for the hair, between the bottom base pink, which was kind of a pastel, and then I started warming it up with more of a vibrant neon pink and going in with like a darker pink for the shadows. I feel like I don't have to say this, but yeah, for those who are wondering, that's just how I color. And I just move along with the hair strands. I always think of hair like it's its own person, where it moves and flows and has its own personality. And by no means am I an expert colorer. Even as an artist, I am like the sloppiest colorer unless I'm like doing a coloring page. But like with painting, with coloring, with markers, I still kind of suck. So it's all over the place, and I don't follow any lines. Well, I mean, there's guidelines, but I don't stay within the lines sometimes. And that's when I end up outlining it with a black pen just to finishing touch it all up, and quote unquote finishing touches. For the shirt, I chose yellow because I felt like it would go better with those two colors. And to me, in the lighting of this video, it does kind of look like her hair is red, even though it is pink. I thought I could get away with the yellow and the blue, kind of like a primary color kind of thing going on here. And then I added some orange undertones to shadow and shade her shirt. I also noticed that with this paper and these markers, you have to be very intentional with how you shadow and shade, because if you go over certain spots too many times, it starts getting that weird grainy texture where the paper starts graining up on you because you've just been over a certain part too many times. One part for me was when her arm is creased up, and that little shadowy part, it started bleeding and getting kind of raw and grainy. So I had to leave it alone for a while because it was starting to peel up. I guess long story short, the paper can be unforgiving if you go over it too many times. Even though it still is a very good paper and it holds up because it is very thick, but I guess it can only take so much. I went in with some purple for her nails and a little pink for the lips and a little purple as shadowing to the lips just to throw it off. And I went over and did some more lining on the eyes and giving more shadowing in the face just to make the eyes pop more. And yes, it's intentional that she does not have irises. That's just how I like to draw my space people. And as a given, because she is in space, I made the background black. Then I went over the shirt with some more orange to give it more shadowing. Next, it was time to break out the black paint marker and get started with lining. Everything was going great. I was almost done with the piece. And wouldn't you know, my black marker decided to blot on me. And I was like, oh crap. But I did not cry. I put my big girl pants on. And where there are mistakes, it's not really a mistake. As Bob Ross says, it's a happy little accident. So I chose to improvise. I used some matte sticker paper. And I said, you know what? She's going to hold the world on top of her hand. So I started making a planet with the sticker paper, and I cut it out and I attached it to her hand and used the paint markers to just kind of draw around it and just fill it in. Then I took some of the sticker paper and made giant diamonds just to add on to the space, and then I used the white gel pen to make little space diamonds. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good for improvising. And that is the piece. And wouldn't you know it, it didn't even bleed through the paper. It was clear on the other side, nothing bled. So I am impressed with render paper overall. Except for the small mishaps of it bleeding or just getting coarse after going over it too many times, I would give this an 8 out of 10 overall. I'm impressed. But yeah, that's the video. And if you happen to like this video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. All of this helps my tiny little channel grow, and I deeply appreciate all the support. So thank you very much. I'm not sure what I'm drawing next week, but just stick around. Something will be coming. I love you all and stay safe out there. See you next time. Bye.